Harley-Davidson, how it's made. Imagine a machine so iconic that its sound alone can turn heads on a busy street. A machine built from nearly 2,000 individual parts, assembled by both robots and human hands inside a factory larger than 20 football fields. And here's the kicker: one rolls off the line every 2 minutes. Today, we're taking you inside the legendary Harley-Davidson factory to uncover how America's most famous motorcycle is built, step by step. And later, we'll also peek inside the rival Indian motorcycle plant, where a century-old competition is still alive and roaring. Setting the stage, our journey begins in York, Pennsylvania. This facility covers 230 acres, with more than 1.5 million square feet of production space. Inside, thousands of skilled workers, engineers, and robotic machines operate in perfect coordination. But here's the surprising part. While each Harley takes about 25 hours to build, the assembly line is so efficient that a new bike is completed every 120 seconds. How is that even possible? Let's find out. Raw beginnings, shaping the frame. The very first step is pressing metal into shape. Giant machines form the fenders, fuel tanks, and body parts pieces that will define the look and feel of the motorcycle. Not every component starts its life in Pennsylvania. Some parts are imported from around the world, but crucial pieces, like the engine and drivelines, come from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, before arriving here to meet their steel skeletons. At this point, sparks fly literally. Robots handle the heavy-duty welding of the main frame, ensuring absolute precision. Each frame is then carefully stored in the central warehouse until the exact moment it's needed on the line. But welding is only the beginning. What happens next is where Harley's craftsmanship really shines. The art of paint and powder. Every Harley is as much a statement piece as it is a vehicle. And that bold look begins in the paint shop. Here, parts are hung on massive conveyor sliders and carried through a multi-step process. First comes powder coating, an advanced method where charged particles of pigment and resin cling to metal like magnets. Then, parts are baked in ovens until the finish hardens into a flawless, durable skin. It's one of the most efficient coating techniques in modern manufacturing. The result? A finish that resists chipping, scratching, and time itself. And while the robots do the spraying, human workers stand by as quality guardians, polishing, inspecting, and adding decals with a craftsman's touch. Engines, the beating heart. Next, let's talk about the most famous part of a Harley, the engine. Cylinder heads, crankcases, and pistons are assembled with the help of robotic precision. But here's the twist. Despite all the automation, critical phases of engine assembly are still done by hand. Experienced workers bring together the complex puzzle of moving parts with meticulous care. Because if even a single bolt is off, the engine won't produce that unmistakable Harley-Davidson rumble, the deep, rhythmic potato-potato sound riders swear by. Engines are then stored in a central warehouse, each tagged and matched to the exact model it will eventually power. Layer by layer, final assembly. Now the real magic happens. The final assembly line. Here, the frame meets the engine. Suspension, wheels, brakes, electronics, and controls are added step by step in an order so carefully designed it resembles a choreographed dance. Each worker has just 80 seconds at their station to complete their part before the conveyor moves the bike along. This system of focus, where each worker masters one specialized task, ensures both speed and quality. And at every stage, supervisors keep a close eye on precision. Bit by bit, the motorcycle takes shape, transforming from a bare frame into an unmistakable Harley. Testing the machines. Once assembled, the bikes face their trial by fire. Testing. Engines are mounted on dynamometers or dynos, where they're run at different speeds to test power output, consistency, and reliability. This step is non-negotiable, because when a Harley hits the open road, failure isn't an option. After passing inspection, Each motorcycle is labeled, packaged, and prepared for transport either across the United States or around the world. A legacy forged in history. Harley-Davidson isn't just a brand, it's a slice of American history. Founded in 1903, it grew from a small shed in Milwaukee into a global symbol of freedom and rebellion. During World War II, Harley produced over 90,000 motorcycles for the U.S. military, including the famous WLA Liberator. And through all the ups and downs of the motorcycle industry, one thing has remained constant: Harley's identity as a machine built in America by American hands. Today, around 70% of the parts in a Harley still come from the United States. The rivalry: enter Indian motorcycles. But Harley isn't alone in this story. Across the Midwest, another American giant has been fighting for the crown for over a century: Indian motorcycles. At their Spirit Lake, Iowa factory, Indian builds its bikes with fewer robots and more hands-on craftsmanship. Here, about 550 workers assemble motorcycles like the Chieftain Elite and Challenger Dark Horse models that rival Harleys in both style and power. Indian is older, founded in 1901, but today it's owned by Polaris Industries. Still, the rivalry is fierce, fueled by die-hard fans on both sides. So what's the real difference between the two? Two legends, two philosophies. Harley leans on tradition: air-cooled V-twin engines, that iconic rumble, and bold, timeless styling. Indian experiments more with modern technology: liquid-cooled engines, sharper designs, and innovation that appeals to a newer generation. But both share the same DNA: craftsmanship, precision, and a commitment to delivering motorcycles that are more than machines. Their experiences. Closing: the open road. Inside these factories, steel, paint, and engineering come together to create something far greater than the sum of its parts. A Harley-Davidson or an Indian motorcycle isn't just built. It's crafted, tested, and perfected until it's ready for the open road. And when that engine roars to life, what you're hearing is more than combustion. You're hearing over a century of innovation, rivalry, and the spirit of freedom itself. I'm the Factory Line, and this is how the Harley-Davidson are made. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next How It's Made.